Welcome, this is Jennifer. Today I thought I'd talk about on-the-go crafting. So I often will create little elements for cards when I'm either on the go, maybe at a baseball game or basketball practice or in a long car ride, or when I'm at a crafting retreat with friends. And I'll create little elements using maybe stamps that I've been wanting to use for a long time. Then I bring them back to my craft room, and all at once I put them onto a textured note card background. This is a great way to use a lot of the products that you've been wanting to use and make good use of your time. And I'll be honest, I craft on the go a lot. And I had a bunch of pieces that I had pulled together and decided to put on backgrounds. And I showed these cards in some of my favorite crafty things videos, and a lot of people had asked if they could get a closer look. So I decided to put this video together after the fact. So you're not going to see me create these cards, but I'm going to talk about what I used on them and give some tips along the way. But before I get started, I wanted to tell you about a product that has completely changed crafting on the go for me. For a long time, I searched high and low for a bag that would hold all my crafting goodies so I can take them on the go. And I finally found what I loved. This is the Hanging Traveler's Case from 31 Gifts. It is fabulous. It's not too big, it's got a little handle, and it zips closed completely, so you don't have to worry about anything falling out. There are lots of pockets inside to hold everything you need. There are little slots for markers to go into or pencils. If you need more than that, there's plenty of room to add others. There are several zipper pockets so you can add little pieces that you've created so that they're in safekeeping. There's a place to add a little cloth in case you do any kind of watercolor on the go. I keep in here my Wink of Stella brush, my Spectrum Noir brush, and I have my Dove blender pen. I even got these fun little scissors, which I'll link to below, that are great for cutting on the go. They're nice and they close up completely, and you can just tuck them in there. I have a string so I can attach them to the bag so I don't drop them in the baseball bleachers when I'm at practices. Now, the nice thing about this is everything can be safely kept inside, and it's not too big. I like to pre-stamp a bunch of things on different pieces of cardstock, and I can have those all in there. And whenever I'm on the go, I can just grab this and go. You can do Copic markers, you can do anything in this. I plan to get a few more of these, and in one I'm going to put all my stitching things because I like to do stitching of felt on the go. And I also like to make pom-poms, and I can keep all the little yarns and everything I need in here. It's amazing how much fits in here. It comes in a few different patterns, and you can even get it embroidered. So I plan to do some where it says Share Handmade Kindness on it so that I can have something special for me. So I've looked everywhere. I don't get anything by promoting this. To be honest with you, the 31 Gifts works by having a hostess who is a friend of mine. And what we decided is that I would do like a party. And if anybody bought any of these, the money would go, or the credits that I get would go completely into buying a bunch of little bags that we would fill with like female goodies that we would donate to a shelter. So everything will be donated from this that I earn. This is totally just a product I like and I'm getting nothing from it. There are a few different options out there. You can check them out, the different patterns and the embroidery things. I'll link to it below. I just found this to be a great product for crafting on the go and I had to share it. I just encourage you to find a bag that works for you for crafting on the go. It's a great way to make good use of your time. Okay, so I thought I'd go through all these cards that I made. I made the elements at Craft Retreat and while I was kind of crafting on the go. Brought them home and I created the backgrounds for them. And I wanted to show you what I used on each of these and talk about the different backgrounds that I created and how I did them. A lot of people have been asking, so that's why I'm pulling this together for you. I'm hoping that this is helpful, even though I'm not showing all of the cards being made. Okay, first let's talk about using layering background dies to create like a simple white on white background that you can have like a special element on, something you stamped or colored on top. So this card here, I used the Birch Press layering dies. I'll show you what they look like in a moment. Now this one has circles in the background, and I used a Hero Arts die set to die cut a heart, and I white heat embossed the warm wishes. So you could white heat emboss a bunch of those heart die cuts, and then I colored them in with my Spectrum Noir shimmer pen so that it had a little bit of shine to it. So I kept it very simple, and I added some sequins too, which you could include in your crafting on the go bag if you wanted to. Here's a closer look at the birch press layering dies that I used to create the background. I die cut them all from white cardstock. There are 3 dies that come together, so the price point on these is higher, but I find that I'm using them quite often, so it was worth the investment to me. This may be something you want to ask from Santa. I included these dies on my Favorite Crafty Things series, and a lot of people asked to see more, so I'm showing you all of the different background dies here. I also wanted to talk about the heart die that I used on this card. This is from Hero Arts, and for a limited time, if you go over to Hero Arts and buy this Nesting Hearts Infinity die set, they're donating 25% of the profits to the Kind campaign to help end bullying, which I think is a great cause. So be sure to check that out. So here's a closer look at the card. I put over there the products I used so you can easily find them in the YouTube description below or on my blog in case you wanted to check any of them out. That nice greeting there is from an Amy Tangerine Cheers stamp set. I like it because it's something that you can use all winter long. Okay, so the next card I wanted to show you features another one of the Birch Press layering die sets. This is the honeycomb background. A lot of people were curious about how this one looked. You again could layer different colors of cardstock, but I love the look of white on white. That texture on the background is fantastic. Doesn't take too much time to do either. The apple in the center there is from Reverse Confetti. I make a lot of teacher cards. I like to spoil teachers rotten, so that stamp set is one of my favorites. Here are what the 3 Birch Press layering dies look like, and you can see what they each die cut. You could use them individually, or you could use just 2 together, or all 3 as I did. And by the way, after I go through all the Birch Press dies, I will talk about other dies that you can use to create fun backgrounds like these. Okay, so this one uses the Birch Press Honeybee background and also a Reverse Confetti All Apple stamp set. And I did add some shimmer to that stamped element there using some Spectrum Noir shimmer pen. Okay, so now I did another one that's very similar. I used the exact same stamp. I did several of these at once. And I used a different Birch Press layering die. This one is called the Maxwell. It's got a bunch of squares, and these could be used individually. In fact, you could stamp tiny images in the windows if you wanted to, or cut it down to be like a smaller kind of window-looking element on the front of your card. That's what I like about these background dies, is they can be used in many different ways for many different looks, especially if you use colored papers. On this one, I just love that white on white. I think it's so classy looking. I think a white textured background like this is a great backdrop for these little elements that you create on the go that you want to keep in focus. Now this next Birch Press layering die set is definitely my favorite. This is called the Dazzle. I think this is beautiful. On this first example, I used a manger die cut that I layered a few on top of, and then I stamped Oh Holy Night from Hero Arts in the center and white heat embossed it. I did cover that little pool circle with some shimmer pen so it had some shine too. So these are the 3 Dazzle layering dies that come together from Birch Press. You can see all 3 of them here. You can see also that they could be used separately or just 2 together if you wanted to. The funny thing about these backgrounds is I bought one of them and I was so over the moon excited about it that I had to get a few more. Took them to a crafting retreat and everybody was going gaga over it. We were all using them. They're so much fun to layer. And check out the center, how the center layers together. You could stamp something small in there. I covered that center up with my die cutting, but it's just beautiful. It'd be great for like a sunshine card. So on this one, I used the Birch Press Dazzle background. That sentiment is from the Mini Christmas Sentiment stamp set from Hero Arts, and that manger die is from Penny Black. These are great designs to keep very simple, and you don't have to do much, and this would be great for mass producing. Now, using the same Dazzle background, I did another nativity scene. I just layered a few on top of each other, and then I white heat embossed a sentiment from Gina K. It's such a great message. And then I covered that whole piece with that shimmer pen from Spectrum Noir. It's a great way to kind of add a little bit of interest to a plain piece of cardstock. Just cover it with a layer of shimmer and let it dry. So that manger scene is from Tailored Expressions, and the sentiment is from Gina K. Here's another of the Birch Press layering dies. This one is definitely the most detailed or intricate, and it makes an amazing white on white background. This little fox, I've been wanting to color him since I got him. I think he's so much fun. I kept the coloring very simple and added shimmer on top. I used a sentiment on a black strip of cardstock and actually colored this cardstock with some shimmer so that it really had a lot of shine. Now here are the 3 layering dies that come together. They're very detailed, as I mentioned, so you could use only one of them on a card or just 2 if you wanted to. This die set seems to have a lot to offer. Okay, that cute little fox is from a Pink and Main stamp set called Oh Dear. The sentiment is from a Your Next Stamp sentiment set called Cool Banner. Lots of great sentiments in it. And that background is called Delphina. Okay, another one of the Birch Press backgrounds here. This one also has a lot of detail. I think this is probably my second favorite. I think it looks best with that white on white, so you get that gorgeous dimension, but you could also do different colors of cardstock, maybe like an ombre color, starting with light and working down to the darkest. That little ornament die is from Avery Elle. It's from a set of different size ornaments and some word dies. It's a great one to have. And I white heat embossed a sentiment, added some silver string on top and some tiny little pearls with some green cardstock peeking through. I, of course, covered that red cardstock with some shimmer also. So here are the 3 dies that make up this, I think this is called Delphina Birch Press layering die set. This is another one that all 3 of the dies could be used separately for completely different looks. And by the way, a few people asked how I glue these layers together. I just put dots of my multi-medium matte adhesive from Ranger between each layer, just some dots along it, and I put something heavy on it while it dries, and it does a great job gluing it together. And here it is with the kind of the ombre, different cardstock colors. I wanted to show you that. Looks beautiful that way also. I love how you can completely change the look by just changing the colors of cardstocks used. So on this card, I used the Birch Press background, an Avery Elle Merriest Sentiment stamp set, and the Avery Elle Ornamental die set. That's a great die set to have for the holidays. Okay, there's one last Birch Press layering die set that people were asking about, and then I'll move on to other things. This one does squares that are kind of turned. On this, I have an element that I white heat embossed some houses and trees from a W+9 stamp set, and then I white heat embossed a sentiment, and I colored them in with the Spectrum Noir shimmer pen. Sometimes it's best to not even bother with all the different colors. Just do a tone-on-tone coloring and add that shimmer inside the lines. I added little dots for snow with a white gel pen. So here's a closer look at the 3 background dies. This one's kind of fun. It's something completely different. I think I like these layered better than separate, but it's another look, so there's lots of options that you can try out with these backgrounds. So the name of the W+9 stamp set that I used is Holiday Houses, and the greeting is from a Poppy Stamps Christmas Messages stamp set. Okay, so let's move on to other things. If you don't have these layering dies, you can get a similar look by using any background dies that you may have. If you don't have background dies, you can try taking a die and repeatedly die cutting it over a piece of white cardstock, but background dies really make it easy. So this one is a Hero Arts Star Confetti background die. On this, I just die cut from some white cardstock, and then I added it to my note card with some craft foam tape, just little pieces here and there, and you can see that shadow that you create. It's just gorgeous. That little deer I colored quickly with Copic markers and added some shimmer, and then white heat embossed my message on that black cardstock strip. I find that doing a sentiment on a strip like that is an easy way to kind of finish off a card that you've been working on, or you can add the sentiment later once you know an occasion you need it for. Now this, I used the same Star Confetti background die from Hero Arts. Again, I used pop-up dots behind it, so there's like a little shadow. Now this fun unicorn is from Your Next Stamp. I think this one's hard to get your hands on, but it is so beautiful. And then the sentiment is from a wonderful Concord and Ninth sentiment stamp set that has messages of kindness. So I did, again, add shimmer to that black cardstock strip. I think you can see it there. I think that shimmer and black cardstock is really impressive and adds a lot of interest. And by the way, you can keep all those little stars that you die cut out and use them in a shaker card if you wanted to, or just fun embellishments on a card. Now this is the Hero Arts Circle Confetti die background. It's very similar. This time I glued it flat onto a white note card, so I didn't use any foam tape behind it, and you can still get that great layered look. I also added a white heat embossed sentiment on a black cardstock strip. It seems to be my trademark here, with the shimmer on top. And that polar bear from My Favorite Things is just too cute. There's lots of great images in there that are very easy to color. Okay, I use that same background from Hero Arts, the circle confetti, which remember, you can keep all those little circles for a shaker card. I used it here with this adorable little snowman and my new favorite sentiment from Amy Tangerine. It says, "Hugs and kisses, all the best wishes." I'm going to use that all year round. For this one, I stamped it on top of that layering. In any places it didn't stamp completely, I just went in with a black fine tip pen to kind of finish it, and it worked well. I just liked that it was on that background instead of on a piece added to it. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to ideas for using frames for creating a fun background for a focal point image. So if you have a larger die cut or stamped image, sometimes all you need is a frame around the outside edge, again, white on white or whatever colors you want, and that seems to do the trick. I love this baby Jesus image from Neat and Tangled, and it was kind of large, especially with the sentiment. So this Avery Elle frame postage die was perfect touch for it. I added it with some foam tape so that it had a little bit of dimension, but you could glue it flat if you wanted to. So check around in your stash. Maybe you have some frame dies that would be great for a white on white background for some little elements that you created on the go. Another idea is to use embossing folders for your backgrounds. Embossing folders, I don't think get used enough. They're inexpensive and they create amazing results that hold up nicely through the mail. Here I created this fun little silly monster. This is from Your Next Stamp. I am in love with this set. And then I stamped a heat embossed sentiment. This one's from Waffle Flower from a purse stamp set, believe it or not. There's fun purses on it. Worked great with this card. And the background was done with an embossing folder from Sizzix. It creates like this three-dimensional basket weave that is beautiful, but you could use any embossing folder for a quick background. That's all you need behind some fun, colorful images. I tell you, I think embossing folders are a great way to add texture to a simple card. Here's another example of a card with an embossing folder background. This one's the Sizzix Leaves embossing folder. Great dimension with it. And I can't get over the cuteness of this reverse confetti stamped image. I am in love with little koala bears, and they're so fun to color, and it's just great for a lot of different occasions. That sending hugs your way is really fun also, and that is from that same Your Next Stamp Cool Banner sentiment. So I'll be honest, I've got a bin of new stamp sets that I really want to use, and oftentimes I'll just go grab a bunch and stamp those to have coloring on the go ready for me to go, and this is one of those stamp sets, so you'll see it in future videos also. Another fun way to create a simple background for little elements that you may create on the go is to create an impression or dry emboss. So if you look closely on the background here, you see like a little chevron pattern. That was not done with an embossing folder. That was actually done with a die. So I could have used the die to cut those little slits, but instead I used an embossing pad. So all you do is put your paper between an embossing pad and any background or whatever die, run it through your die cut machine as you would any embossing folder, and it presses the die into the paper instead of cutting it. So I used a little inker background for this one, and it looks great with that impression technique. I used that same reverse confetti bear hug stamp set that I showed you in the last one, and a greeting from My Favorite Things. So this impression technique is a great way to get more out of your dies, and I've done it many times in videos. This one is actually a set of dies that all fit into each other, so you can use them together or separate to make a bunch of frames. I taped them all together, put some paper between the die and an embossing pad, put it through my die cut machine like I would an embossing folder, and I get this beautiful impression. I'll link to a video where I show that technique. It's super easy to do. An embossing pad or embossing mat is very inexpensive, and it's a tool that can really allow you to kind of double the life of your dies. It works especially good with background dies. And I again used that wonderful sentiment from that Amy Tan Cheers sentiment stamp set. So there you have all these cards that I pulled together using elements that I created on the go. I'm sorry I didn't show all the steps, but I really didn't intend to share them in a video, but a lot of people asked, so here you have it. If you have questions about them, please check out my blog. I link to the products I use in the YouTube description below, but be sure to go to my blog for much more information. I appreciate you spending this time with me, and I hope this inspires you to grab your crafting stuff, take it on the go, and come back and pull some great cards together to send to some friends. Thanks for watching, and in the middle, I have a few other videos that might be of interest to you, and I hope you'll return again soon. Have a wonderful day.